President Muhammadu Buhari has departed the Umar Musa Yar'Adua International Airport, Katsina, for Doha, Qatar, for the 5th United Nations Conference on the Least Developed Countries. Governor Aminu Masari of Katsina State and some other government officials were at the airport to bid the president farewell. A statement by the president's media aide, Malam Garba Shehu, revealed that Buhari was invited to the conference by the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The conference will be attended by world leaders, the private sector, civil society groups, and youth organizations. It aims to share development ideas and mobilize political will, solidarity, actions, and solutions to transform the LDCs by finding sustainable solutions to poverty, food insecurity, hunger, and weak or non-existent infrastructure. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has assured Nigerians that the Bimodal Voter Accreditation System, BVAS, will be used in the forthcoming governorship and state legislature elections. Yakubu gave the assurance on Saturday in an ongoing meeting with all resident electoral commissioners, RECs, at the INEC headquarters in Abuja. According to him, the BVAS machines will be used for the elections, though the devices are being worked on to avoid a repeat of the glitches recorded with last Saturday's elections. The agenda of the meeting was not disclosed to the media. Journalists were, however, invited to cover the opening. Meanwhile, INEC says it has so far uploaded 159,509 results from 176,846 polling units 7 days after the presidential poll. The figure represents 90% of results from all the polling units. As at the time of filing this report, the electronic transmission of results was still ongoing. Nigerians expected that the election results would be uploaded on Election Day, as promised by INEC Chairman Yakubu. The Transition Monitoring Group, TMG, has called on the Independent Electoral Commission to use the opportunity of the March 11 governorship elections to redeem its image. This is as the TMG described the conduct of the February 25th general election as poor, adding that INEC purportedly failed to deliver a straightforward mandate. This was made known in a post-election observation report signed by the chairman of the TMG, Awal Rafsanjani, who said the group had deployed 774 observers across all local government areas of the country, in line with the provided guidelines by INEC. The report stated that the insistence of INEC to jettison the transmission of results electronically from the polling units gave room for suspicion of human interference in the electoral process. The Nigeria Police Force, NPF, says it has paid all allowances of police officers deployed for the presidential and National Assembly elections. Force Public Relations Officer CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, in a statement on Saturday, debunked allegations that the force had yet to pay its staff on election duties. Adejobi described it as astonishing to read reports that some police officers have been denied the payment of their accrued allowances, adding that such delay has not gone down well with the force. He said, "The Nigeria Police Force wishes to clear the air on the alleged non-payment of election allowances to police personnel who participated in the elections held on Saturday, 25th February 2023. A senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has advised President Muhammadu Buhari to abide by the judgment of the Supreme Court, reversing the controversial Naira redesign policy. The Lagos lawyer, who had been critical of the CBN policy, described the verdict as a courageous confirmation of the sanctity of the rule of law and due process in a democracy. According to Falana, the Apex Court has brought a soothing relief from the hardship that Nigerians have been subjected to over the past few weeks on account of what he described as a rather thoughtless policy.
The court made the point that any deviation from the provisions of the Constitution with respect to consultation of constitutional bodies by the president, any deviation would tantamount to dictatorship, which is alien to democracy. Of course, the Supreme Court berated the president for disobeying his order. Because it's a dangerous policy to disobey the orders of the Supreme Court. You may not like the order, But once it has not been set aside, all authorities and powers are required by Section 287 of the Constitution and enforce the judgments.
Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State has also backed the Supreme Court judgment extending the validity of old 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes to December 31st, 2023. Wike taunted the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, saying he has no option but to comply with the decision of the Apex Court. Wike spoke Friday when he joined Oyo State counterpart Seyi Makinde to commission the Oyo State 5 million litre aviation fuel dispensing depot at the Ibadan airport in the Lakia area of the state. Ahead of the March 11 governorship and State House of Assembly elections, the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has granted leave to the Labour Party and 41 others to apply for judicial review and mandamus orders compelling the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to directly and electronically upload results from the polling units in the state to the INEC results viewing portal. Justice Peter Lifu granted the leave in the suit filed Thursday by the Labour Party, its governorship candidate Gbadebo Rose-Viver, and 40 others. The court also restrained INEC from engaging the services of individuals or companies who are members of any political party in the distribution of electoral materials. A chieftain of the Labour Party, Professor Patu Tomi, has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to immediately commence the review of the election results in 12 states. The states include Lagos, Rivers, Delta, Imo, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Benue, Kaduna, Adamawa, Taraba, Bayelsa, and Bauchi. Utomi, who made the call while addressing journalists in Lagos on Friday, said the electoral umpire should set up a review committee that would comprise each member of the political parties. He said, "We asked for immediate review of the voting of last week in 12 states at the very least, including Lagos, Rivers, Delta, Imo, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Benue, Kaduna, Adamawa, Taraba, Bayelsa, and Bauchi."
We ask for an INEC review. Immediate review of the voting of last week in 12 states at the very least, including Lagos, Rivers, Delta, Imo, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Benue, Kaduna, Adamawa, Taraba, Bayelsa, Bauchi. We ask that INEC begin immediately a process of review, that it collate and bring all the materials from these states to Abuja, where people feel less threatened, and that every party name a number of well-regarded people to be on the panel of review. Open, transparent, with sunshine, before the whole world, all the media, global and local, present as the count take place. Unless they do this, then they will not show.
The All Progressive Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council Media Directorate has called on the People's Democratic Party PDP and the Labour Party to pursue their grievances in court with decorum. Special Advisor on Media and Communication, APC PCC Media Directorate Dele Alake made the call while addressing a press conference in Abuja. Alake said the complaints by the People's Democratic Party candidate Atiku Abubakar and his Labour Party counterpart Peter Obi over electronic transmission of the just concluded 2023 presidential election result is not supported by law.
As we all can see, these two otherwise experienced politicians are pinpointing lack of adherence to the guidelines as basis for discrediting the votes lawfully cast by Nigerians. We shall examine the so-called process that was purportedly breached by the electoral body and how in their wildest imagination it undermined the credibility of this election. The claim that INEC did not use beavers is patently false. Those who voted across Nigeria, including Atiku and Obi, were accredited by BVAS. Section 38 of the Electoral Act 2022, referred to by the PDP and LP, has absolutely nothing to do with transmission of election results.
PCC spokesman Festus Keyamo also accused Atiku and Peter Obi of misleading their followers and some Nigerians who did not know the extent they went in stopping APC members from casting their votes in the southeastern part of the country.
And there was daylight falsification of results and open malpractices. So those who come to equity must come with clean hands. And it was widespread throughout the Southeast, where one handwriting filled all the Form EC8As in one complete word. One particular handwriting. What that means is that voting took place or did not take place, and they went to somebody's house to fill all the Form EC8As. One handwriting. Go and check. And these are people who are coming, and pretend to be on the moral high ground. Right? We have considered our legal team now, as I speak with you. I'm part of that legal team. And we have even volunteers who are ready to defend our man. Volunteers who are also senior advocates.
Soldiers attached to troops of Sector 4 of the Operation World Punch and Special Forces of the 167 Battalion have killed one bandit after engaging in a fierce battle with the outlaws in Chukun local government area of Kaduna State. The superior firepower of the troops, it was learnt, forced the hoodlums to flee in disarray. State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs Samuel Orwan, who disclosed this on Saturday, was however silent when the incident took place. The commission also disclosed that the gallant troops rescued 14 kidnapped victims, comprised 9 men and 5 women, and destroyed the bandits' hideouts. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has held talks with its Pakistani counterparts, Division of Controlled Drugs, Drug Regulatory Authority of Pakistan, the Anti-Narcotics Force and Controlled Substances Section, Ministry of Narcotics Control, to explore ways of collaboration to restrict channels of trafficking illicit substances between Nigeria and Pakistan. Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, NDLEA, retired General Mohammed Buba Marwa, had approved a delegation who were joined by Aderemi Afolabi, Deputy Director, Inspection and Investigation, NAFDAC, for the February 27th meeting in Vienna, Austria. The strategic case meeting, which brought the two countries face to face to discuss their responsibilities, held under supervision of the International Narcotics Control Board, INCB, focused on improved communication and exchange of real-time intelligence using the INCB communication tools, Ion Incident Communication System, IONIX, between NDLEA and the Pakistani Anti-Narcotics Agency. Africa's drive to transform its agriculture and become a food basket continues to receive strong global support, with development partners agreeing to commit more than $50 billion to the plan barely 2 months after its launch. Development partners have agreed to commit more than $50 billion to Africa's drive to transform its agricultural sector and become a breadbasket. In a statement issued on the African Development Bank's website, the global support came barely 2 months after the program's inauguration. According to the statement, political leaders on the continent have resolved to work tirelessly with international partners on compacts that will transform agriculture across the continent. In foreign news, Russian and Ukrainian forces are fighting in the streets of Bakhmut, but Russia does not control the eastern city, its deputy mayor has said. Alexandra Machichenko also told the BBC that the remaining 4,000 civilians are living in shelters without access to gas, electricity, or water. Bakhmut has seen months of fighting as Russia tries to take charge. Machenko said there is fighting near the city and there are also street fights. At least 17 people have died in a huge fire at a state-run fuel depot in the Indonesian capital of Jakarta. 60 people were injured, with many people severely burnt. Hundreds living in residential areas near the fire have had to be evacuated. Indonesian officials are calling for an audit of all fuel facilities and infrastructures. And now, before we end Citizen FM News at 6, here is another look at the highlights. President Muhammadu Buhari is in Jakarta for the United Nations Conference. INEC has insisted that BVAS will be used for the governorship election. And 17 people have been killed in an Indonesian fire. And that has been Citizen FM News at 6. I am Bolawola Makinde. The news was edited by Lawrence Umwete. To join us on social media, do check us on Facebook at Citizen FM Abuja, Instagram at Citizen FM 937, and Twitter at Citizen FM 937. Good evening.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station.
We're more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim.